The Magic School Bus inside the Earth. It's your turn to be the ant monitor, Arnold. The ant monitor. Is it always like this in Miss Frizzle's class? That's the new kid. You'll get used to it. In Miss Frizzle's class, we had been learning about animals' homes for almost a month. We were pretty tired of it, so everyone was happy when Miss Frizzle announced, "Today, we will start something new." Something new, thank goodness. Oh, get off. "We are going to study about our Earth," said Miss Frizzle. She put us to work writing reports about Earth science. "And for homework," she said, "each person must find a rock and bring it to school." Don't you often wonder what is inside the Earth? Not often. But the next day, almost everyone had some excuse. "I couldn't find any rocks. I found one, but my dog ate it." Your dog ate a rock? Where Do Rocks Come From by Wanda. Most of the solid part of the Earth is made of great masses of rock. The small rocks that we collect are just pieces that broke off from these huge masses. Only 4 people had done the homework, and Phil was the only one who had found a real rock. "That's not a rock." "It is too a rock." "It's part of an old 7-Up bottle." "You chipped this off the sidewalk, didn't you, Wanda?" "Arnold, that looks like styrofoam to me." "Yeah, covered in dirt." "It could be a stale cupcake." "You actually touched this, Arnold?" "I guess we'll have to go on a field trip and collect rocks," said Miss Frizzle. What Are Rocks Made Of by Tim. Rocks are made of minerals. Sometimes you see tiny specks of different colors in a rock. Sometimes you see shiny specks. These different specks are the different minerals that make up the rock. You never know what will happen on a trip with Miss Frizzle. Her new dress was a trip in itself. At first, the old school bus wouldn't start, but finally, we were on our way. "I can't believe Miss Frizzle dresses like that." You'll get used to it. When we came to the field, all the kids wanted to get out of the bus. But suddenly, the bus began to spin like a top. That sort of thing doesn't happen on most class trips. "I'm getting dizzy. Fasten those seatbelts, children." "Miss Frizzle, when can we collect rocks?" The Earth's Crust by John. The outside of the Earth is a shell of hard rock and soil. This shell is called the Earth's crust. This crust is hard as a rock, too. When the spinning finally stopped, some things had changed. We all had on new clothes. The bus had turned into a steam shovel, and there were shovels and picks for every kid in the class. "Start digging," yelled Miss Frizzle, and we began making a huge hole right in the middle of the field. This isn't exactly easy. At least we're missing spelling. First, we will dig through the Earth's crust. The top layer of the crust is soil. It looks like dirt to me. Dirt is another word for soil. Oh, great. Now she can read my mind. What is soil? By Flory. Soil is made up of ground up rock mixed with clay, bits of dead leaves, sticks, and small pebbles. Without rock, there would be no soil for plants and trees to grow in. There is Always Rock Under You by Shirley. Most of the rock in the Earth's crust is covered with soil or water. But if you dig deep enough, you will find the rock. Wherever you are standing or walking or floating on the earth, there is rock under you. Before long, clunk, we hit rock. The Frizz handed out jackhammers, and we began to break through the hard rock. I'm not used to Miss Frizzle yet. Give it time. "Hey, these rocks have stripes," said a kid. Miss Frizzle explained that each stripe was a different kind of rock. Millions of years ago, these rocks were formed in layers. This tan rock is called sandstone. This gray stripe is shale. This white rock is limestone. Layers, like a cake. Don't try to eat it. How Rock Layers Were Formed by Molly. Millions of years ago, wind blew dust and sand into lakes and oceans. The dust and sand settled to the bottom in layers called sediment. Seashells formed layers of sediment too. Over time, the layers hardened into the sedimentary rock we see today. An earth science word by Dorothy Ann. Sedimentary comes from a word that means to settle. We chipped off pieces of the rocks for our class rock collection. These rocks are called sedimentary rocks, class, said Miss Frizzle. There are often fossils in sedimentary rocks. Sandstone is made of grains of sand all pressed together. Sandstone feels kind of grainy. Shale is made of mud and clay all pressed together. This shale has a fossil of a leaf in it. This limestone has a fossil of a shell in it. That's because limestone is made of shells all pressed together. Millions of years ago, there was a sea here. Why there are fossils in rock layers by Phoebe. Sometimes a prehistoric plant or animal died and was buried in layers of mud, sand, or crushed shells. Then it turned to rock along with the layers. It became a fossil. Wouldn't you know it, just when we were finding lots of fossils, Miss Frizzle said, "Back on the bus, kids." Then, as we were driving along, we heard rock crumbling underneath us. Down we went. Everything was pitch black and we were falling. I'll never get used to this. Class, we're now going deeper into the earth. I'd rather be going back to school. Can't believe I just said that. We're falling. Help. Wah! We landed with a bump. Miss Frizzle switched on the headlamps. We had fallen through a hole into a huge limestone cave. Rainwater has been dripping down through the earth for ages, said Miss Frizzle. The water wore away this cave in the rock. This whole cave is made of limestone. Can you find more fossils here? Here's one, Miss Frizzle. Knock it off. The Empire State Building is made of limestone too. We wanted to stay for a while, but suddenly the bus sprouted a drill. It began boring through the rock. Frizzy shouted, "Follow that bus!" And down we went. Look, a stalagmite growing from the ground and a stalactite hanging from the ceiling. How stalagmites and stalactites are formed by Phil. Shapes that look like cones and icicles are formed in caves by dripping water that contains tiny bits of an invisible limestone. How to remember which is which. The word stalagmite has a G for ground. The word stalactite has a C for ceiling. Another earth science word by Dorothy Ann. Metamorphic comes from a word that means to change. The farther down we went, the hotter it got. The rocks were harder too. These are rocks that were changed from one kind by another because of heat and pressure, explained the Frizz. Rocks that were changed are called metamorphic rocks. I didn't know rocks could change. It takes millions of years. This beautiful marble used to be limestone. They make statues out of marble. This rock used to be shale. It was changed to slate. Slate is harder than shale. This rock is very hard. Knock, knock. Cut it out. Limestone plus heat plus pressure plus time equals marble. How igneous rocks were formed by Michael. Melted rock can push up through cracks in the Earth's crust. When the melted rock cools and hardens, it is called igneous rock. Still another science word by Dorothy Ann. Igneous comes from a word that means fire. The heat inside the earth is like fire. It can melt rocks. We went down even farther towards the center of the earth. We hit rock that was formed billions of years ago from a pool of melted rock under the earth's surface. Rock like this is called igneous rock. This igneous rock is called granite. Many buildings and monuments are made of granite. Arnold, will you carry these samples? Earth science is heavy, man. We had dug all the way through the Earth's crust. It was so hot now that Miss Frizzle told us to get back on the bus. We're lucky the bus is air conditioned. What's your favorite rock? Rock and roll. She stepped on the gas and the bus started really drilling. Soon we were actually inside the earth. It was hot, hot, hot. And it got hotter and hotter as we zoomed towards the center. Crust, melted rock, mantle, outer core, inner core. We were glad when Miss Frizzle headed out again. We reached the Earth's crust and drove straight up through a tunnel of black rock. It was great to see the sky again. What's Inside the Earth by Ralph. Under the Earth's crust, there are pockets of melted rock. Below this is the mantle, made of solid, hot rock. The outer core is liquid metal, and the very center of the Earth, the inner core, is a ball of solid metal larger than the moon. What is a volcano? By Rachel. A volcano is an opening in the Earth's crust where melted rock can flow out. Volcanoes come in different shapes: cinder cone volcano, composite volcano, shield volcano. Are Miss Frizzle and the kids on a cinder cone, a composite, or a shield volcano? When we looked around, we had come out on an island in the middle of the ocean. Isn't this wonderful, class? Said Frizzy. We've driven right up on a volcanic island. It doesn't look like much, but if Miss Frizzle was right, the whole island was one big volcano. I want to go home. We were nervous, but Miss Frizzle made us collect some rocks. She said they had all hardened and melted rock that had come out of the volcano. Then, suddenly, we heard rumblings from below. The black rock we're walking on is basalt. This shiny volcanic glass is obsidian. Hey, this rock floats. That's pumice. Air bubbles inside make it the lightest rock there is. I hear rumblings. Is that your stomach, Arnold? Volcanoes Make New Land by Arnold. The material that comes out of a volcano is melted rock called lava. When lava cools, it hardens into new rock. In time, soil forms on the rock and plants can grow. I didn't know volcanoes could be useful. We scramble into the bus. The Frizz turned the ignition key and stepped on the gas. Nothing happened. The bus would not start. We thought we were goners. Red, hot lava came steaming out of the volcano. Some of it shot into the air like a fountain. Some of it flowed over the land like a river. Our bus went along with it, right into the sea. Class, when the lava hardens, it will be the newest rock on Earth. Who cares? Just get us out of here. When the red hot lava hit the water, it made a huge cloud of steam. All we could see was white. We seemed to be rising with the steam and floating. No one knew how long we floated in the cloud. Where are we? I don't know, but I have to be home by 3:30. But when it finally cleared, we were back in the school parking lot. Did we really go inside the Earth in that beat-up old bus? Who knows? Granite, marble, slate pavers, limestone and shale goes into making cement, limestone to put on the lawn for fertilizer, and sandstone. It had been a weird trip, but we did collect a great rock collection for our classroom. Arnold, that's not a rock, that's styrofoam. Not again. Rock collection by Miss Frizzle's class. Hey, I'm not a rock. Phoebe's rock, shale. Type, sedimentary, formed by mud. Uses, ground up and mixed with limestone for cement and brick. Molly's rock, basalt. Type, igneous, means it's volcanic. Uses, road building. Wanda's rock, granite. Type, igneous. Uses, monuments, buildings, curbstones. Rachel's rock, obsidian. Igneous, volcanic. Uses, decoration and Indian arrowheads. Shirley's rock, limestone. Type, sedimentary, formed from shells. Uses, buildings, chalk, cement, fertilizer. John's rock, slate. Type, metamorphic, formed from shale. Uses, roofing tiles, flagstones, and chalkboards. Flores rock, pumice. Type igneous, volcanic. Uses ground up in scouring powder. Amanda James rock, marble. Type metamorphic, formed from limestone. Uses in statues, monuments, and buildings. Michael's rock, sandstone. Type sedimentary, formed by sand. Uses building and grinding stones. Phil's rock, quartzite. Type metamorphic, formed from sandstone. Uses millstones for grinding grain and road building. The end.